is taking you around the planet. So second stage really doing a lot of work there, not just to get you into space, but actually keep you in space.
Yeah, keep you falling forever.
Falling forever, exactly.
So yeah, after stage step, you'll see a bunch of things happening really quickly. You'll see... Sorry, got some voices in our ears.
No, it's all good. We're continually getting updates here that we'll share with you. A quick reminder, folks, we do have a 52-minute window this morning, so they've got time to work on that spacecraft issue. You'll see that the clock has jumped up a little bit there to put some more time to work through this. Currently still in a hold, but we were targeting the beginning of the window there. We have lots of time to actually work through this, and we're going to keep hanging out with you here in the meantime.
Yeah.
Sounds like we may have another go, no-go poll here, so let's listen back into mission control.
This is the launch conductor on the countdown net with a readiness check for entering recycle operations. RC.
Go.
FSW.
Go.
GSW. Go. GNC.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
AVI. Hold. FTS.
Go.
FISBO.
Go.
IFCO.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
MA.
Go.
OSM.
Go.
CE.
Hold.
MD. LD.
AVI and CE, this is just for recycle operations.
I'm good for recycle operations, not for terminal count.
AVI is go
for recycle operations.
LD is go.
Copy. PCLC on CD1.
Nope.
You resume locks cross-country chill auto sequence.
Still running.
Copy. NGC verify that helium autos are toggled high.
Helium autos are good on CD1.
All right, folks, we're going to keep listening in here. The best way to get up-to-date information is to let you listen directly to mission control instead of us listening and then relaying it. So as a reminder, we have a 52-minute window. We're just eating into it a little bit here, but almost an hour to work through these issues. We're going to keep listening into mission control because that's the best way to get you up-to-date information. So keep on hanging out, listen in, and let's see what they work through. So as we continue to listen in here, Morgan, there was actually another poll. Every time they talk, I'm going to be quiet.
Yeah, I don't want to talk over them.
VC LCCD1.
Go.
Run deluge terminal count configuration auto sequence.
Copy. Running.
CELCCD1. Verify we are still go for terminal count with LCCs.
In work. We need to switch to flight mode.
Standby 1.
What we're listening into now are the recycle operations. That poll that we saw come up was not another launch poll, but a poll for the teams to proceed into basically resetting the rocket, getting ready for another attempt.
Yeah, and we can do this for a number of reasons. The team is super prepared. This is just kind of part of launch ops. And we also,
VCLC on
one of the
CD1.
reasons we can do this is we fill our...
VCLC CD1.
Go on CD1.
VC, load the alpha terminal count config auto sequence.
Copy. Need to switch to flight mode. Terminal count loaded. Yeah. Can we go to flight mode? Copy, going to flight.
VC, you're good to set us in flight mode.
You're in flight mode. On CD1, we have met the terminal count LCC gate.
VC verify set the operation selector to launch.
Set.
Run hide SB auto pinner engage auto sequence.
Copy.
And verify HPU startup it gets completed. VC run and load and run deluge terminal count configuration auto sequence.
It's already loading. Expected alarm.
VC verify /set vehicle state machine is in flight mode. VC verify HPU startup gets complete and SP auto pinners get positive pressure. And VC run the hide collar arm engage auto sequence.
Copy.
And verify that the collars get there. Verify hide lift status is equal to 3, SP at 90.
Confirmed.
VC verify the battery charging autos are not still running.
Confirmed.
This is the launch conductor on the countdown net whistle readiness report for terminal count. RC.
Go.
FSW.
Go.
GSW.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Go.
Structures.
Go.
AVI.
AVI go.
FTS.
Go.
GC.
Go.
VC.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
LO.
Go.
FISBO.
Go.
MIFCO. OSM.
Go.
ROC.
Go.
MA.
Go.
CE.
C's go.
LD.
Go.
LDA.
LDA
CE confirm LCC is met and terminal count is clear to proceed. VC run the terminal count auto sequence.
LCCs are met. Good to go.
You missed it. We have to reset.
So folks, you can see there in the upper left-hand corner, there is a clock. We heard a bunch of goes there once again. If you're just joining us, we encountered a brief hold there as we were counting down towards Flight 6 of Firefly's Alpha rocket. Currently, we're showing under just around 14 and a half minutes there. Let's watch to see if that gets an update here shortly. But teams going through all of their training, they've done this before, they practice this sort of thing, everybody communicating there in the back channel, and we're actually letting you listen right to it. We're not trying to translate for you or control the message. That is like piping directly from Mission Control straight here to the live stream, so you all have the best up-to-date information. And again, Morgan, here, if we hear them talking again, we'll be quiet all of a sudden so y'all can listen. But things like this, recycling, resetting the T0, normal things for launch operations.
Yeah, for Firefly, it's kind of run-of-the-mill. We recycle even when we do stage ATPs at Briggs. So this is completely kind of run-of-the-mill, nothing special, nothing fancy.
So even like during testing, you do recycle. Is that like a
GCLCCD1
practicing of
resume cross-country chill
recycles,
auto
or
sequence.
It's still running.
And GC verified that helium autos are triggered high. GNC LC on CD1.
Go for GNC.
Confirm the upper level wind and assessments are going to be good for the new T0 when you can.
Confirm that upper level winds assessment is still valid.
Copy, looking at sign off on 28.3.
Good work.
Go.
we'll translate a little bit. Sounds there like the upper level winds were still good.
LDRC count I 1.
Of course, the winds are something that we can't really see. The upper level winds we can't see on the camera, but the rest of this, the clouds, the sky above the launch pad there, looking great this morning.
Yeah, we have 2 conditions to stay below, one for upper level winds and one for lower level, and we're still green for both of those.
That's what you like to hear. And it didn't sound like we were in a situation where, oh, if we don't hit the beginning of the window, the weather's going to rapidly deteriorate. You hear that in launch.
Go on CD1.
Yes, ma'am. The updated T0 is now live and the clock is counting down. I'm waiting on feedback from the range as far as final approval, which I should get in about 8 minutes here. We're at T-minus 25 minutes and counting.
Copy. Is there anything they can do moving to Albion?
And quick update there. There we go. So quick update there. We heard T-minus 25 minutes. So we've pulled the clock off the top of the screen so that we can get that resynchronized with the new T0. Sounds like they were waiting on one final approval from the range, it sounded like. But Alpha looking good on the pad. There we have a clock that slid back over. Again, had a 52-minute window this morning, so sometime, that's why we're targeting the beginning of the window. Weather was looking great. The launch vehicle was looking great. Just ran into that one brief hold, but we are back on the count. T-minus 25 minutes and counting down. Same story. We're going to listen in, and if we hear anything from Mission Control, we'll be quiet and let you hear that. If we get any updates on our headsets, we'll share them with you as well. But while we're waiting, we've got a couple questions that have come through chat. Remember, if you have questions for us, tag us in chat at Firefly Space over there. That'll get it into our back channel queue, and we might have a little bit of time here to answer some of them. But one of them that came through, name of the mission is Message in a Booster. What's the message?
Ooh, I didn't study. I didn't study for this quiz.
I think we need to ask Lockheed Martin what the message is.
Yeah, LM400 is the message.
Is the message. So the satellite, the spacecraft here that Lockheed Martin is launching, that's the client payload today. Like we mentioned earlier, LM400 is a satellite. It's like a demonstration satellite.
Yeah,
that has
tech demo.
All sorts of different capabilities, right?
Yeah, radar, imaging, kind of communication stuff. Yeah, which is, again, Message in a Booster. That was the inspiration for the name.
So either the spacecraft is the message, or the spacecraft can send whatever message you need it to send because it's a demonstration satellite.
I'm picturing like a little alpha-shaped glass bottle bobbing through the ocean with the little LM400 inside.
Nice. If you see when we do some of the scene transitions, you can see the mission patch there as well, and you sort of have the rolled up message coming out of the top of the booster.
Fun fact, it also makes a little 6.
It does make a little 6. See, we're supposed to point that out at the end, but we're going to point it out right now because Chad asked the question.
Point it out right now. Yeah.
Now, one more thing you'll see here. Oh, the sun has come up in the background there. It gives us a rocket silhouette to work with. The venting that you see coming out of the rocket. A bunch of people are asking, is the rocket leaking? Is that normal for the venting to be coming out of the rocket? Does that mean it has a hole in it or something? I guess technically it does have a hole, but it's an intentional engineered control hole, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this also kind of ties back to recycle. When we fill our cryogenic fluid, we fill it comparatively warm to what some companies might fill. Some companies do something that's basically called like load and go, where as soon as they fill their cryogenic fluid, the cryogenic fluid is as cold as they can get it, and they have to go immediately. What Firefly does is a little bit different. We load warm, and the entire time the Alpha's out there sitting on the pad, it is actually boiling off liquid oxygen, getting to kind of that steady state. So what you're seeing right there is that boil off, and as we have some of that LOX boil off, as it gets colder and colder, we will actually refill as needed. Right,
and you see that there. It's almost like I say it's like a tea kettle, and people are like, yeah, rocket's nothing like a tea kettle. I mean, but kind of. Like the physics that are happening here, the boil off, you don't want the rocket to build up pressure, go higher and higher and higher. You actually maintain that pressure by releasing some of the I guess propellant is really the right way to say it, right?
Yeah, we run into this during test as well. So our testing campaigns, we test the hell out of this thing. So a lot of part of my job is actually making sure that our structures are capable to withstand flight loading.
It's more involved than just tapping on the structures, right?
More involved than just tapping, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll take each individual airframe out to test stand 4, Teams 4, and we'll hook it up to our big load head, and we'll squish it. We'll squish it, and we'll press it. If it is a cryogenic tank, we'll fill it with a cryogenic fluid.
Readiness report for terminal count will be in 1 minute.
Good deal. You have 1 minute to finish your answer.
About 1 minute to finish.
It's going to be 20 minutes there on the clock, it sounds like.
But yeah, we'll fill it with cryo fluid if it's a cryo tank. We'll press it to the pressures that we expect to see during flight loads. Actually, we'll press it to a little bit over just to make sure.
It's a margin.
But it's a margin. We overtest it a little bit. And we'll do the same thing with the load that we apply axially. And yeah, after we do that, we'll inspect it. I'll hop inside and I'll tap around with my little hammer. Yeah, and then we'll actually close it up, give it to integration. At that point, I'm mostly hands-off. And integration will then bolt it all together into a stage, and we'll test the stage where we'll just run it through kind of like this, but chopped in half.
All right. So, folks, again, we're getting ready to hear another go, no-go poll here in just about 15 seconds. Let's listen back into Mission Control and get the best information straight from them.
This is the launch conductor on the countdown net with a ready report for terminal count. RC.
Go.
FSW.
Go.
GSW.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Go.
Structures.
Go.
AVI.
ABI, go.
FTS.
Go.
GC.
Go.
BC.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
LWO.
Go.
FISPO.
Go.
MIFCO. OSM.
Go.
ROC.
Go.
MA.
Go.
CE.
C's go.
LD.
Go.
LDA.
LDA, clear to launch. Terminal count LCC gate has been met.
BC run terminal count auto sequence.
Copy. Auto's running.
All right,
BC,
folks.
pop out auto sequence.
Got a lot of
display,
goes
and be ready
there.
to abort. Navigate to the autos page for monitoring and access to the hang fire button.
Copy.
GC, pop out the safety tab, go to the FireX page. Only LD can call out individual FireX commands prior to liftoff.
Copy.
All right, so now under 19 minutes, you saw the or you heard the goes all the way down the board. The clock is once again ticking for Flight 6 here. It's Firefly's Alpha rocket launching out of Vandenberg Space Force Base. Now, since we're back under the 20-minute mark, using a little bit of that window, let's once again talk through what we expect as we count down to launch. Things are going to start happening very quickly here. They happen really quickly. We got that hold. And now they're going to start happening quickly again.
They're going to do it again. Rewind. We're going to do this all over again. Yeah, so pretty soon here, we're going to, again, recheck everything that we checked before.
Right.
Just to ensure, again, everything is still healthy. So we're going to do that stage 1 engine chill again. We're going to pull in that ground side prep, so the T-tab, the TBC wiggles you should see again on the cameras. Same thing with spin start verifications. You won't be able to see that, but it'll be happening in the background. We'll start fuel pre-press at T-minus 8 minutes. And then at T-minus 7 minutes, you should be seeing some stage 2 TVC wiggles. So
they'll happen. I don't know if we have a camera on the stage 2.
Oh, do we not?
We'll see. If we see it on the screen, we'll see
Camera
it.
master doesn't know?
Yeah,
jeez. At T-minus 6 minutes, Alpha will actually transition to internal power.
Right.
So right now she's hooked up to ground side, and we do that because why waste internal batteries if we don't have to?
Yeah, you don't need to sit there on the ground for 2 hours on internal power. Just you plug into sort of shore power.
Yeah, exactly. We're plugged into shore power, but we need to make sure that, again, all about the health of the system, that Alpha can run under internal power just as it's expected.
Right.
So we unplug it at around T-minus 6 minutes, and we transition to that internal power state.
Yep.
Do some health checks, that kind of good stuff.
You give it some time to make sure, like you unplug it, and then you let the rocket run on its own to make sure that everything's working in advance of launch. You don't just unplug it right at T0 and see if it works.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how it is.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll also start to see at around T-minus 5 minutes and 45 seconds, those collar arms will start to open. So the collar arms, you can kind of see them in this shot. They're right below the white S2 LOX tank on the very top. So those guys will open up, and it's kind of just to...
There you go.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah, so they'll open up and pull back just to kind of get out of the way. What that does is to help stabilize Alpha during high wind conditions.
Right.
Vandy is right next to the ocean, super windy out there, and there are certain cases where we can't let Alpha stand if it's too windy.
Right.
So the collar arm's going to help stabilize.
It's just like it clamps onto the sides of the rocket, and the strong back here, the strong back's on the right-hand side of your view. Still sort of see it there. That's a great shot of the strong back.
Yeah.
Providing additional support. You don't need to carry that structure to space with you.
I would hope not.
Would not be a thing. That's a very
little
Kerbal
heavy.
Space Program if that goes with you. But that will sort of get back out of the way. The collar arms open up. We'll see if we see that happening here. What is that? T-minus 5 minutes, 45 seconds. So just about 10 minutes from now, we'd expect that to happen.
Yeah.
And then the strong back.
And the strong back. Yeah, the strong back itself will completely kind of pull back at an angle. And that's just to get out of the way because, well, A, we don't need the support when we're about to go, and
Right.
B, we don't want to crisp it while we're going. We want to make sure it's kind of a safe distance away.
You've got the umbilicals and the plugs and all the things that are sort of fueling the rocket, the data, the telemetry, the shore power we sort of talked about as if Alpha was a recreational vehicle, I guess, like an RV like rolls up to the campsite and plugs in. It's kind of like that, I guess.
RV campsite, Slick 2.
Slick 2, yeah. You have to have a special pass to camp there.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't want those to get too toasted, so by leaning that strong back out of the way, you sort of get them out of harm's way, fire's way, whichever way you want to say it.
Yeah, the point is to reuse this thing. Reuse the TVCs, excuse me. Reuse the strong back, the tail. And so, yeah, we'll pull that back out of the way, like you were saying.
Yep.
At T-minus 4 minutes, we'll actually arm the FTS. The FTS is required on all launch vehicles.
And the FTS is the flight termination system.
Yes, yeah. So that's kind of a standard requirement, again, for all launch vehicles.
It's a safety thing.
Just a safety thing.
Yeah.
So we'll arm that at T-minus 4 minutes. And then at T-minus, you can see engine chill actually on the cameras.
That. Well, you can see it for a second. I mean, I guess
Kind
what
of.
you see is the propellants actually flowing through the engines to thermally condition them, get them down to that operating temperature. Look at that.
Yeah, so you can see right there on the kind of bottom right side of the screen, it's very gaseous right
Yep.
now. As
like
we
thin.
start to, it's very thin and kind of airy. As we start to chill in more, that will look more and more like fluid, kind of like water.
Like a liquid coming out instead of a little puff of gas.
Yeah, and why it's doing that is again, this fluid is negative 300 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
So as soon as it hits the hot Vandy air, it is flashing into gas.
Right. In fact, you can almost see like spurts on the one. We really do argue for these sorts of cameras, like the wide beauty shots that like show, oh, here's the rocket on the launch pad. It's fantastic. But the engineering cameras, we're always like, can we please get can we get the engine bell cam?
Those are my favorites.
Can we get the TVC cam, please? Like, yeah, we'd like to see the up close of the collars retracting. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
How do we get that?
Yeah, they're great to see. It's honestly kind of a testament to just the insane engineering that goes into kind of putting a rocket together like this.
Right.
To actually see it on camera.
Excellent. As the sun continues to come up there, we're getting some really good backlighting on the venting, the plumes there sort of coming off the top of the first stage, I guess that's sort of the top of the second stage, in the middle of the second stage there. Mm-hmm. It's very vapory. It's hard to see exactly where it's coming from. But
yeah, that's coming out of our kind of our inner stage. So the top of our first stage, the bottom of our second stage.
Gotcha. So again, here, folks, this morning, counting down, just about to cross T-minus 13 minutes. You see the sun rising over there in the east out at Vandenberg Space Force Base. Alpha's on the pad, payload's on top, and we continue to count down. Mission Control's there, too. They're important. We'll show Mission Control right as well. But if you're just joining us, we did clear through a little bit of a hold. We're going towards sort of the middle part of the window here, but we did have a window this morning. We had time to recycle, and we let you listen right in to Mission Control as the teams stepped through all of those recycle steps, made sure everything was good to go. Don't trust that, oh, just because it was fine the first time, it's going to be fine the second time. They went through that whole poll again. In fact, you heard them poll to begin the recycle.
Yes.
And that was cool. You actually have to make sure everybody's ready to start the recycle operations. And then we heard them poll for another go. And the clock is counting down right now because we did get that second go. And we are down to almost T-minus 12 minutes. Now, been taking some more questions from chat over here. I did see once again folks asking where they might be able to see the rocket from. As the sun gets a little bit higher in the sky, it'll be a little bit brighter, so maybe a little bit difficult to see from some of the further away locations, all the way over in Phoenix or all the way up to Portland. That might be a little bit far out as the sun brightens up the sky a little bit. But if you're down there in LA, make sure after you see it launch on the stream, step outside, look out over the ocean, see if you can't see Alpha going down south. It's a southern trajectory this morning carrying that Lockheed Martin satellite, and you may see it going past. Here's a viewing map. It actually takes the rocket a little bit of time to travel downrange. So here at T plus 45, 50 seconds, there's Los Angeles about a minute in. So if you see it launch on the stream, you do have time to step out your door and look. All the way down to San Diego at about a minute and a half. 2 minutes, you know, like I said, Salt Lake City, Portland, way inland like Arizona, New Mexico, Albuquerque, Phoenix there. That might be more difficult with the sun a little bit brighter in the sky. But, you know, what do you have to lose? If you see it launch here on the stream, step outside, look over to the west, snag a picture on social media. If you get something on your phone or your doorbell camera or whatever, tag us over on social media. We love to see how other people experience the launches here, especially when you're able to see them from all these different locations all up and down the west coast of the United States this morning.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to sprint out of the control room. Sprint out of the studio and try and stir up in the sky, but I would like to.
The circle does not reach Austin, Texas, which is where we are broadcasting from today.
What a shame.
Let's see. I guess real quickly, we're broadcasting from Austin, Texas, because that's where Firefly is based. That's where the headquarters is.
Yes, our headquarters is in a place called Cedar Park.
Right.
It's a little bit north of Austin downtown. And then we actually have our manufacturing and test facility like 30-ish minutes north of Cedar Park. So
that's the test stands, right?
Yeah, that's Briggs. People call it Rocket Ranch sometimes. Yeah, it's pretty close by, which is nice and also sometimes annoying.
It's like, can you run up to Briggs real quick?
Yeah, it's like, yes, I can, but also, man, again.
Just remember, there's structures up at Briggs. Like, that's where you want to go hang out.
Those are my people.
All right, folks, 9 minutes and 40 seconds from the new T0 here. Let's once again run through what we expect to see after liftoff. Again, when the rocket lifts off the pad, we're going to let you listen in to the sounds of the pad, the rumble of the rocket as it goes downrange. So now is the time to talk through it while the rocket is sitting serenely on the pad. Morgan, what can we expect after liftoff, or right before liftoff and then after liftoff?
Yeah. So we'll run through it again. At T-minus 2 seconds, you'll see those reavers, you'll see the candle light. So they'll start going before the rocket is allowed to lift off the pad.
Right.
Again, we do this so that the reavers, we can make sure that they're healthy, they're allowed to spool up into full power, all that good stuff. We want to make sure that if we needed to kind of abort and hold, we could do that. So that is what that extra 2 seconds is for, right before launch.
Right.
And then at T-minus 0 seconds, we actually release the mechanisms that are clamping Alpha down to the pad.
Right.
And Alpha will start to lift away from the ground. At about T plus 56 seconds, if memory serves, we'll hit Mach 1, so we'll go supersonic. And then at T plus 1 minute and 6 seconds, we'll hit something called max Q.
Right.
Again, that's max aerodynamic pressure. Kind of, in a lot of cases, not all, the most stress that the airframes will see.
It's weird. Like, people, if you're new to rockets, might think, oh, well, right when you take off, that has to be the most force that happens on the rocket, but it's actually a function of the weight of the rocket.
Wake up, Alpha.
We hear the giant voice going in the background out of Vandenberg, it sounds like. It's the wake-up call for Alpha.
Yeah.
It's actually a function of the density of the air,
Yeah.
the weight of the vehicle. The thrust stays the same, but the weight of the vehicle goes down because it's blowing up the propellants and throwing them out the back. That's how it's generating thrust, right? So just the combination of all these forces, like one graph is increasing, one graph is decreasing as the air gets thinner, and they intersect at a point.
Yeah.
And that point is max Q.
Yeah, that intersection is between static pressure and dynamic pressure. It's different for rockets and airplanes, but for rockets, yeah, you're exactly right. Like, as we're going faster and faster, we're getting lighter and lighter, and also the density of the atmosphere is getting less and less.
Right.
We hit this kind of critical point where the airframe is stressed as much as we expect to see it stressed during flight. So yeah, again, that happens at T plus 1 minute and 6 seconds. That is called max Q. And then about, not quite, a little over a minute after that, we'll actually hit MECO, which is main engine cutoff.
Right.
You'll see the reavers shut down, and we'll kind of coast for a couple seconds. And then we'll have nominal stage step at T plus 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Right after that, lightning will kick off, and we'll start to kind of pull away with stage 2.
Right.
And nominal fairing jettison will happen shortly after that. They've protected the payload for its trip to space. We don't need that mass anymore.
Yep.
So we shed it. And then we'll be burning for about 6 minutes, a little less than 6 minutes until we hit SECO, which is our second engine cutoff. And then today is actually something important to note is we do have a planned comms blackout at T plus 9 minutes and 17 seconds after SECO.
Okay, so going down with the southern trajectory, going to be flying a lot over the Pacific Ocean, and that expected planned comms blackout means we will no longer have vehicle telemetry coming back in real time, and we'll no longer have the vehicle cameras that we hope to share it with you as long as we can. But that comms blackout is actually going to last a little bit longer this morning, all the way up to T plus almost 35 minutes.
Yeah, it lasts quite a while because we're effectively, like you said, we're going over the Pacific Ocean. There's no ground stations down there. We don't have line of sight to anything.
Right.
The Pacific Ocean is pretty big.
Like out of range of the rocket cell phone towers.
Yeah.
It's not really, you know what I mean.
But yeah, close enough.
It's close.
And
trying to make it accessible for people. Like, you drove too far. You don't have cell signal anymore.
Hey, I think if anybody's watching this rocket launch at the time it is in the morning, they're interested about rockets. At least I hope so. But yeah, we'll actually have our payload deployment in that planned comms blackout. So that will happen at T plus 12 minutes and 42 seconds. So we won't actually see it live today. We're going to regain comms again at T plus 34 minutes, so way after the payload actually deploys.
Right. And the important thing here is while all this is happening, the rocket isn't sending the telemetry to the ground in real time, but the rocket's recording everything that's happening. It's recording the telemetry, the data, it's recording video even, and then when we regain that ground station, we're going to start downlinking that information. Now, of course, much to my chagrin as the video camera guy, the telemetry comes first.
Yeah.
The important data, the bits and bobs, I guess mostly bits there, that tell us the health of the vehicle and exactly what happened, those come down first, and it will take quite some time longer to get the more heavier payloads from a data perspective. The video files come down so that those can be shared. But we are now less than 5 minutes away from launch. And stand by for more information. As you can see in the upper left-hand corner, it looks like we have encountered another hold here. We saw that pop up. We are going to get you more information on the current status. Hang in there with us and we'll let you know the cause of this hold. All right, folks, got you some more information on the cause of this hold. It sounds like the hold is due to GSE, something with the power systems that teams are currently working through and assessing their options. Now, remember, we did have a window this morning. So we had started off the day with a 52-minute launch window. Still have some time to work through things here, but we will keep you up to date on this current status. We're going to listen in just a little bit here and see what information we can get. But again, we are in a hold of Flight 6, Firefly's Alpha rocket.
Prop 1.
Go.
AVI.
Go for recycle.
FTS.
Go.
FISPO.
Go.
MIFCO. PMM.
Go.
MA.
Go.
OSM.
Go.
CE.
Go for recycle.
MD. LD.
Go.
FSW.
Go.
On CD1, we've set the clock for 14:29:47. That is the last minute available in the window. We will be moving towards that and doing the last poll before terminal count.
It sounds like the update from Mission Control there is that they are looking at a new T0 that is near the end of the window. Again, did have some time here today in that 52-minute launch window to work through issues as they arose. And it sounds like that is the current plan. The poll you just heard was the recycle poll. Remember, there's the go polls to make sure everything's ready to go. And if they need to coordinate stepping into a recycle, you'll hear a recycle poll like that. So what we just heard, you heard one of the stations actually say go for recycle. That was a recycle poll to make sure everybody's on the same page to step through the events needed to get the vehicle back to a known stable state so they can shoot for this next launch window. Stay tuned, and as soon as we get that exact number, it'll appear on the screen, but we'll see if that clock that we have been shared with here is going to be the attempt that they are going for. If we hear anything back from Mission Control, we will let y'all listen in. But we were talking through sort of the expectations here, and we were mentioning how that the ground stations work, and the telemetry comes down from the rocket, and we know that there's that planned communications blackout after launch. About less than 10 minutes after launch, we're going to go into a known planned communication blackout, right, Morgan?
That's correct, yeah. So we'll pass out of line of sight from any ground stations, and we won't get back in line of sight of any until T plus about 35 minutes.
Right. And that's what we were talking through was the first stuff, the most important stuff to come down is not the large video files that we all want to see.
I deeply apologize.
It's okay. We want to know the health of the vehicle. We want to get that telemetry down first. So that is the top priority to downlink from the vehicle when it regains access to a ground station. Now today, we expect the video payload or the video replay of the payload deploy to not come through until T plus 95 minutes, almost an hour and or actually more than an hour and a half after launch. So with that delay, the plan here today is after we get a liftoff, we are going to stop the live views from the rocket after SECO when we enter that planned communications blackout. We won't have anything to show you except me and Morgan, basically. And we'll talk through a couple more things there, but that is intentional today. When we cut that stream, it's because we don't have any more telemetry or video coming back down from the rocket. And the time that it's going to take us to get that video downlinked, an hour and a half afterwards, we'd love to hang out and just talk about structures for an hour and a half, right?
I would love to ramble about structures for as long as you'll let me. You might, Andrew might have to stop me in the background because I would absolutely start to get towards proprietary territory just because of how excited I would be.
With 95 minutes, we could actually hop in the car and drive up to Briggs and then go live from Briggs again.
Oh, yeah.
Future live stream. We're tossing out ideas for the comms team here. But that is a plan today. We will begin to stop the stream here when we receive or when we're not receiving the telemetry or the video from the vehicle. And the next time we get that delicious visual assets to share with you, the downlink of the payload deploy, that would be so long after liftoff that we will not stay live that entire time. So just setting some expectations there. We know that there's going to be a comms blackout. It's how physics and, I guess, geography works, right? There's just no ground station where the rocket is flying over. And the amount of time it takes to downlink these files will be such that we do intend to intentionally stop the stream before we get to payload deploy. So where are we at? T minus 18 minutes, 18 minutes, 45 seconds. Again, if we get more updates from Mission Control, we'll let you know if that is the time that's going to stick. Are they going for the very end of the window now? We will get you that information as well. But we appreciate you hanging out with us. Let's see if we can't find another couple questions from chat. Give me just a second to read through some of them. I guess remember, if you have questions for us, you can tag us in chat. Just Firefly space over there in the YouTube chat. All right. Don't forget, tag us in chat over there, folks, and we will see if we can answer some questions, because we do have a little bit of time. Does everybody need to know what happens before and after liftoff again? I think we've covered that one pretty securely here.
I think people get a little annoyed if we cover that again.
You know what I'm interested in is the next liftoff. Back there at Briggs, you were talking about having more rockets sort of in the barn, structures in various phases of production for the next flight. Not how many, but do you have a bunch? Do you have room for more rockets at Briggs?
We kind of don't, at least not in Building 6, which is where all the structures are made.
Right.
We have 3 rockets beyond Flight 6 currently in various manufacturing stages. So yeah, you can't walk around Building 6 without bumping into one structure or another.
Into structures.
Yeah, we have upgraded our tools and processes like crazy, and that's why we can have so many in development at once. I talked about AFP before, that big robotic arm that can lay down strips of carbon fiber.
Yep, very precise, repeatable manner.
Yeah, exactly. We also have something called a 7-axis power mill drill. It's another big robotic arm, because those are a fan favorite, and the purpose of that one is to be able to kind of trim the ends of the barrel.
Hold. GNC.
Go when the clock is fixed.
Prop 1.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Hold on helium.
Structures.
Go.
AVI.
Go.
FTS.
Go.
GC.
Go.
VC.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
LWO.
Go.
FISPO.
Go.
MIFCO.
OSUM. Shut down.
MIFCO. OSUM.
Go.
ROC.
Go.
MA.
Go.
CE.
Hold.
LD.
It's from the restarts. If you reload your plots, you should be able to mostly see
I need a
things.
clock. Hold.
Go.
All right, as we were stepping through the pole there, it sounds like we heard a couple of holds. One was helium there. I think Fluid said a hold on helium. And then one was software, I think, Morgan?
Yeah. Ground support software? Yeah.
All right, so let's see what happened. There was also a call for a correction to the clock. We had sort of alluded to that. We knew the clock was up there, but we wanted to verify whether or not that clock was what they were counting down towards. Still at T-minus 15 minutes. We don't have the hold officially up there yet, so let's see if we can't get some more information for you. Of course, like we said, letting you listen into Mission Control. All right, brief update. It sounds like the clock that they are currently targeting is the last second of the window. We had 52 minutes this morning, and the T0 that they are working towards is the last second of that 52-minute window, literally using all the time available to get Alpha off the pad this morning.
There are some anomalies that we are working. He's making calls on LV.
All right, folks. There you heard it straight from Mission Control. The fastest information you could get, but they have called a scrub for the day. Couple anomalies they were working. You heard right there from Mission Control. We'll get you a little bit more information on that, but if you're following along, officially Alpha's Flight 6 out there at Vandenberg is scrubbed for today. Now, we'll talk through just a couple more things here with you. It's not unexpected. Scrubs happen. I mean, the thing that I usually end up saying is that you'd rather be on the ground wishing you were flying than flying you were wishing you were on the ground. Morgan, let's talk a little bit about the next steps here after the scrub.
Yeah, so like you said, scrubs are kind of a dime a dozen. They happen all the time. This is a very complex operation we're doing.
I have a t-shirt, actually, for scrubs.
Oh, really?
It's like a scrub t-shirt.
Yeah, well, at this point, the team will now work with the range and our customer, Lockheed Martin, to determine the next available window for launch. It could be as soon as tomorrow. We'll keep everybody updated. And our ground support team will assess this current situation and work on the pad to solve the issue as quickly as possible so we can get back to launching as quickly as possible.
Yep. Folks, we'll keep you informed with more details as to what's going on, but again, officially scrubbed for today. Sounds like an issue with the ground support equipment that the teams are going to work through. In that final poll there, we did hear a couple of teams call in with holds, both on the software side and the fluids side, it sounded like. So today, no launch for Flight 6 out there at Vandenberg. To keep up to date with the new launch date, make sure you're following Firefly on social media. There's a couple different places you can do that. Mostly just Firefly Space, Firefly Aerospace, if you're looking for us. But this is going to conclude today's broadcast. Morgan, as always, thank you so much for joining me and helping me hold it down while we had a couple of different scrubs there, continuing to communicate what's going on with the viewers back at home.
Yeah, for sure. I had a great time. I love doing this, and hopefully next time we can send it.
All right. And folks, thanks to you at home as well for joining us. This is how it goes in the launch industry. Did not get a launch today. Have a couple days left in the actual launch window, extending all the way up to the 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And we are going to share with you exactly what date we'll be able to target over on social media. Maybe as soon as tomorrow, maybe a couple days after that. But keep in touch so that you know what's going on. Thank you again so much for joining us and hanging in there with us over the launch broadcast. My name is John Galloway for NSF, and we will see you nerds later.
Release system is armed.
Vehicle has transitioned to autonomous mode. We are go for launch. 3, 2, 1. Ascent operations will continue on CD1.
T plus 1 minute.
Max Q.
MECO. Stage separation.
Bearing separation confirmed.